The employer's perspective, risk and de-risk in hiring. You might not realize it, but hiring a new person can be risky. Let's talk about how the employers view this risk and try to mitigate it. Here are the learning outcomes for this video. By the end of the video, you should 1. Understand why hiring a new employee can be risky for a company. 2. Understand how employers try to de-risk the hire. And 3. Understand why you should help the employer de-risk your hire. Let's get started. From the employer's perspective, hiring you is risky for several reasons. First, there's financial risk because the employer is going to spend a lot of money hiring and training you. And if you don't do a good job, then that money's been wasted. Second, there's cultural risk because an employer wants to ensure that you integrate with your team and with the company culture. Third, there's reputational risk since one bad new employee can damage the employer's reputation. There's also individual risk for the hiring manager because a bad hire can negatively impact the hiring manager's reputation. Because hiring a new employee is risky, employers try to figure out ways to de-risk the hire. At a minimum, most employers will ask a candidate for a list of job qualifications, typically in the form of a resume, and for the candidate's reasoning on why she's a good fit for the job, typically in the form of a cover letter. Employers will also want to judge the competency and professionalism of the candidate in an interview. The employer uses these tools to gather information to determine if you'll be a good hire. Employers can do even more to de-risk the hire if they want. For example, employers might ask the candidate to complete a technical interview to help confirm technical proficiency. Employers could also expand the interview process by requiring the candidate to go through multiple rounds of interviews. Another de-risking strategy is to get a references list so that the employer can ask outsiders for an opinion on the candidate. Now that you know employers try to de-risk hiring, you can try to help them in this process. This requires figuring out the employer's perspective on what its greatest risks are with the hire. For example, if the employer is concerned about how new hires integrate with the company's culture, then convince the hiring manager that you have a successful track record of joining new teams. That's the end of this foundational video, but just a reminder that this video is part of a longer playlist. The playlist is in chronological order, meaning videos at the beginning of the playlist cover things that occur at the beginning of a job search and vice versa. If you liked this video, then you should check out the other videos in the playlist. If you thought this video was confusing, then try going backwards in the playlist to learn more about job search up until this point, or even forwards in the playlist to see how things come together. Thanks.